This is a video I've been requested to do many times throughout the years, but I've never really had a bookshelf that I thought was like aesthetic and also put together enough to make a whole video about it. So this is my bookshelf tour. Welcome. These bookshelves are, I'll link them down below, or I'll link the company down below. I bought them online and they were kind of a pain to get a hold of. Like, they only sent me one and then it took a while to get the second one. But I love how they look. This was my vision, was this kind of more industrial bookshelf thing. So that's that, and I'm just gonna walk you through. I don't think I'm gonna tell you every book on the shelf because that's boring, but I'll show you how I've organized it, the things around the books, etc. So let's get started. Obviously I need plant representation on anything that I own, so this is a pothos. This is actually the first plant I bought when I moved to New York in 2017. And it's made its way here, and it's not doing its best, but you know, she's out here. At the top here, this stack of books actually doesn't make much sense except color. I think Kirsten put this together. There's not really I mean, I guess there's a couple, all the Mary Oliver poetry is up here, and then the Alison Bechdel. So I guess like it's its own little thing. But mostly it was just a color thing, I think. And
I wanted the fun home books, you know, like displayed.
Place, yeah. And above that is an orca that I found at a thrift store. I think it's a piggy bank actually, but there's nothing in it. Next to it is a clock that we never actually look at and sometimes seems louder than other times. It's very bizarre. This actually, the whole shelf here, on the other side there's some candles and this vase that my mom actually found secondhand for me. This whole shelf doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you know, it's just pretty. I think I'd like to make this a little nicer at some point, but you know, it is what it is. Moving down, over here on the side, I have a piece of art that is by Amanda Louise. This is a sloth that I got for Kirsten a while back in a secondhand frame. These candles were a Christmas gift this year from my friend Lauren. And these are secondhand as well, and they're dusty. This shelf is my favorite books. Also, I do live in this apartment with my partner, but she's less of a reader than me and has less books and cares less about how I organize them. So it's kind of organized by my tastes and my preferences, so there's that. Also, if you hear any jingling, that would be Olive. Where are you going? Bye. Speaking of which, here's Olive. My friend Lauren actually got us this ornament for Christmas, and it looks like Olive. It's even got her little like tail spot here, so I didn't have the heart to put it away with all the Christmas stuff this year, so it's just living up here for now. The rest of this shelf are some of my favorite books, so that's how this is organized. It's also kind of sized, except for like a little bit in here, but yeah. So, just some of my faves. I want to reread a bunch of these to determine if they are actually my favorite books because it's been so long since I've read some of them, but we'll see. Next shelf down is my science fiction and post-apocalyptic shelf, I suppose. So over here I just have a card from my friend Rosianna that I thought was cute, and a random candle. The sides here are kind of random in general. Over here I have 3 pieces of art. I don't actually know the artist. I've had these for years. I'll try and find who these are by. They were a Christmas gift like 3 or 4 years ago, so I can't remember off the top of my head. But I figured Be Strong was a nice little, you know, accompaniment to the Hunger Games series. We have 2 copies of this because one was mine and one was Kirsten's, but yeah, so those are actually her Hunger Games books. I don't have my original copies here. This is an ornament that Suzanne Collins gifted me when I met her, when I won an essay contest back in high school. And I was flown out to New York and I met her and she gave me this. It's from her Gregor series of books that I actually haven't read, but still keep it with those. Over here are all of my science fiction and kind of apocalyptic books. I've read these 2 and not the rest of these, but I just kind of wanted to keep them all together. I want to read more sci-fi this year. These aren't like the only sci-fi books I've ever read, but they're the only ones I currently have here. Yeah, I'd like to read more sci-fi this year. It's one of my goals. And at the top, I have a little mouse lamp. I'd turn this on, but they are aggressively bright. Kirsten got me these for Christmas, and I think they're so cute and so funny. Just little mice holding a light. We're on the second to last shelf on this side. Over here is a photo of me and my brother. This is our grandparents' barn back when we were kids. They don't have it anymore, which is sad, and it was actually destroyed. They took it down, the new owners, which is devastating. Anyway, over here I have the first of many cool bookends. This one I found secondhand, just some brass seashells that I think are really pretty. I'd never had bookends really before this bookshelf because I didn't really need them. I usually had shelves that had sides. I could not think of that word. But anyway, this shelf is kind of random, but this is all just fiction I've read. Also a couple duplicate copies of some of my favorite books. And yeah, just some random fiction that I have read. And then over at the end, we have some classics that are mostly Kirstyn's. The bottom shelf, over here, I just have some random journals that I put here. And then over here is some like favorite YA middle grade. This is new adult, just kind of fit in here. This is kind of a random stack. Then I have these Paddington bookends that my best friend Emily got me for Christmas, and they're so cute. I love them. They bring such joy. And then here is my YA that I have not read. The rest of our actual YA is in the guest room. I'll actually do a cutaway right now. I have a shelf in the guest bedroom that has a bunch of YA and middle grade, and then also we have our rainbow book spine that has a bunch of our books. So I don't have all of our books on this shelf. I forgot to put that at the beginning, but we move forward. Okay, so this middle section is where the two shelves meet, and then it goes to the other shelf. So I'm just gonna do it all in one go because that seems easier and less bending on the floor. So at the top we have The Starless Sea Shrine. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern is my favorite book. So of course it needs a shrine. Kirstyn actually got me this incredible like deluxe special edition from the UK for Christmas, and it's my prized possession now. So thank you. Actually at the top is the dust jacket to the special edition version that I framed. I'd love to matte it in a nicer color, but that's what I had on hand. So that's what we're going with for now. And then there's also a print from Etsy next to it that she got me as well. We have another mouse. And then we have this candlestick that has a key on it, obviously, for Starless Sea. I have the other seashell bookend here. And then this shelf is books I haven't read, but actually I've read this one, but years ago, back in middle school, and I want to reread it. But they're not like the top of my TBR, essentially, so it's books I want to get to soon, but not right now. I also have my iPad up here just because it was a place to put it at the time. And then, of course, another plant at the end that needs some love because this corner doesn't get a whole lot of light. Sorry. So on the end here, this is my grandmother's that she gave me a while back, and it's just this really sweet old English cottage ceramic thing. And then another mouse, and that I believe is all the mice. I think you've now seen all the mice, so you're welcome. This is a bookend. These are mid-century bookends that my friend Lauren got me. The next few shelves are my TBR that I really want to get to this year, and this one is most of the taller books is kind of how I organized it. So these are all books that I have not read that I want to get to soon. Over here is one of my favorite things I own, and that is this Tiffany lamp. I got this off Facebook Marketplace back in my hometown, and it's just beautiful. It's really small, but I think it's gorgeous. This started my obsession. Well, I always loved Tiffany lamps, but this was the first one I acquired. Next to it, I have this ceramic apple that, you know, it just sparks joy. I don't know why. I found this in a thrift store, but actually I've been here before. This is Rottenburg in Germany, but it's an amazing Christmas village. It's not just Christmas, but you know, it's beautiful at Christmas, which is when I went. So I picked this up in a thrift store because I thought that was so cool because I'd been there before. This is another thrifted piece that is from Olive's Collar. I have two of these. I think they're supposed to be trivets, but they're kind of an awkward shape, and I think they're too pretty to put hot stuff on. So one lives here. And then this bookend here was a gift from my mom for Christmas from our, like a rock store in our hometown. They're really gorgeous. Moving down, you'll see a common trend in this bookshelf is a lot of gifts from my grandma. So these used to be hers. This is a series of pieces of art from York, which was one of her favorite cities. It might even be her favorite city. And it's beautiful. I've been there a couple times as well. Next to it, we have just some like little tea light holders that I found at a thrift store that are really cute and rainbow. And then another print from that one artist This frog, Kirstyn stole from her office when we were last in New York. It was just abandoned with the office, so it needed a new home.
The office wasn't abandoned.
It was abandoned for coronavirus.
Yeah, our company went fully remote, and they were getting rid of things in the office, and I didn't really ask about the frog, but I took it. So
no one's inquired.
No one's asked about the frog, so I think we're in the clear.
Yeah. So these bookends are the only ones I owned prior to getting these shelves, and I brought these back from my childhood home because I think they're really funny and cute. I got them, I think, with like an extended DVD special edition of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I think they're really, really cute. I could use some dusting as well. Couldn't we all? Again, these are more books that I want to read, especially like the Bernadine Evaristo books. Really excited about those. And I just got this one in the mail recently, so these are all kind of my top of my TBR right now. Here's the other Narnia bookend with Mr. Tumnus. So cute. This is another one of those prints from my grandma, another one from York. This is a candle. Kirstyn and I both got each other this same candle from Anthropology for Christmas because it smells so good. So this is our backup one. And behind that is a diffuser that clearly gets used a lot. Just why it lives in the back of the shelf. Moving down, we have this little Disney print that's really cute. I didn't know where to put it, so it lives here. And then this is Kirstyn's original set of Harry Potter books. She's like, did you know J.K. Rowling is a TERF?
Yeah, we really pared down all of our Harry Potter stuff, kind of just to this little part of the shelf. Just
the rest are in storage in the basement.
Yeah, and like my original books have a lot of sentimental value, as you can see. It's held together with Scotch tape, so I didn't really have the heart to put those in the basement, but yeah. And this frame we got on eBay.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's very funny. And that's a picture of us in front of Paddington's house in London. Amazing. The final one of those prints here, this one says Be Wise. This print is another gift from my grandma. She always had this in her place growing up, and I just love the art. She has more by this artist, and it just makes me happy, and I love the colors. It reminds me of her. This is, I think, another like trivet type thing that I found at a thrift store at one point. This Votes for Women mug was a gift that my brother got me, so it lives here right next to this book from Persephone's book, Persephone Books, which I feel is fitting. And there's the other bookend from my mom that's really gorgeous. And we're on the final shelf. I don't know why this is here. That doesn't belong there. That belongs with the YA. And down here I have some clay. I decided I wanted to make clay things, and it's going well, as you can tell. It's been touched once. There's that. I also have a planner here that obviously doesn't get used much because who makes plans in 2021? This stack is all Kirstyn's, I think, except this. Or I guess this is, we went and saw Hillary speak, so that's why we have this. I don't know, this is just like a random stack. And then this whole shelf is actually nonfiction. A lot of it, the first part here is like short stories, history, essays, some memoirs, biographies. It's kind of all just nonfiction. It's a mix of read and hasn't been read. Some of it's Kirstyn's. Yeah, this is the newest acquisition that I have, which I'm excited about. Excited to dip into this year. And in the corner we have plays. These are all Kirstyn's plays.
I took theater classes in college, so that's mostly what they're from. Here's the dog that's been messing up this whole video.
You've made it take 3 times as long. And that is my bookshelf. I hope it was exciting, interesting. I'm sorry I didn't go through every book. I don't understand why people like those videos. I find that deeply boring. So that's why I didn't do it. But I hope you got a general sense of how I organize and the types of books I love and have in my collection, our collection. So yeah, let me know how you organize your bookshelves in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, Kirstyn, for filming this. Bye.